Some of us really like running a shotgun in our regular setup, and others of us don't. But for either party, there are always those games where all we get is that stupid Mozambique and we curse the game. But really, since it got a buff at the beginning of Season 6, receiving a 4th shell, it's actually useful when you're able to find the hammer point hop-up. So let's get better with all of our shotgun options right now. Unadulterated information with drills for improving your capabilities with each shotgun is the whole goal for this video. But first, thank you. Thank you so much for watching and becoming part of the family. If you are someone who I've earned your decision to subscribe and are now regularly notified because you clicked the bell and get updates about my regular content releases, I am extremely grateful. As always, don't hesitate to comment on this video or reach out to me if you want tips about a type of playstyle or any other type of Apex tips and tricks video. I'm really here for you guys. My content is for you, so please keep those comments coming. Since this video is all about shotguns and how to practice with them, let's start the comments off with what your favorite shotgun is. Just post in the comments below. I'll say what mine is at the end of the video, but I want to keep this as neutral and unbiased as possible because, as I said earlier, this is meant to contain pure information to benefit your shotgun game in Apex Legends. So, let's start off with what the spread of each shotgun looks like. So, from what you're seeing in order from left to right, you have the Mozambique, the PeaceKeeper, the Mastiff, and then the Eava 8. The Mozambique only shoots 3 bullets, or 3 pellets, in a triangle, not giving us a whole lot of spread, but you'll see how much damage this little guy can pack. The PK shoots 9 bullets in a 5-point star pattern that gives us a bit more of a chance to hit a target, and if you hit center mass, it can smack pretty dang hard. The Mastiff shoots 6 bullets in a flat horizontal line, making it easier to hit a target that might be strafing. And if you can hit your headshots, the gun can smack pretty good. It goes from higher damage in the center to less damage as you spread out to the edges. The Eava 8 has a pattern with 8 bullets in the shape of a figure 8. I think the devs had fun with that one in creating that, the Eava 8 with 8 bullets and a figure 8. I thought that was kind of cool. You want to keep these patterns in mind when you are using them because some are better with hip fire than others, and others are better while ADSing. For example, if you're at a little bit of a distance, the PK is for sure going to hit farther because of its choke that's built into it. Since it's become a care package weapon, it automatically has that choke feature. So you most likely already know that all single fire weapons have a reset time or cooldown between rounds, if you will. For shotguns, we see this the most with the Mastiff when it has no shotgun bolt. But watch what happens when we compare each shotgun without a bolt to them being attached with all possible bolts. Starting with the same sequence we saw in the shot patterns, the Mozambique speeds up a little bit with each shotgun bolt increase, but it isn't by too much. The PK is currently a care package weapon, so it only has 1 speed between shots, but I feel like the reload time is slower than what it was when it was found on the ground. If you have a link showing this comparison, please drop it in the comments below. I really want to see that. I have yet to be able to see one specifically talking about the shot difference between those or the reload difference between the PK, so drop that link in the comments below if you would. But after the PK, we move on to the Mastiff, where we see the biggest difference between rounds being shot off and how crucial it really is to get a bolt put onto that thing. Finally, we have the Eava 8, where we see a bigger difference in the Mozambique, but not quite as much as the Mastiff. It goes even faster when you add in the double tap as far as how many rounds you can get off with each trigger pull. So the next question is, what are the best drills to run in order to improve your gameplay with shotguns? And better yet, which drills for which guns? Well, I've been doing a lot of research, I've been watching a lot of video content for you guys so I can narrow it down to what it is, and I have been able to actually come up with what I feel like has improved my game the absolute best with my shotgun play. So what we're going to do is we're going to run a few drills today that are mostly extensions off of 2 videos that I've made in the past. The first one you'll see in the top right hand corner of your screen right now, it's labeled as Best Strafing and Sliding Guide. So if you haven't watched that yet, I recommend you check that out first. And it's because of how accurate the information is in that video. Because of how accurate that information is, it has become my fastest growing video on YouTube as of date in October of 2020. At the end of that video, you are given a very effective drill to improve your ability to aim and fire while sliding. You're going to be using the same basics of that tactical practice, but only with the Mozambique instead of a full auto weapon. You can do this with a fully kitted Mozambique, just like I'm doing in this video, but you want to get good enough so that you don't need to be using them. So once you get really good at doing this over and over again with all of the best hop-ups you can possibly add on to it, step it down a notch and make it harder for you. Stepping outside of your comfort zone is what's going to make you a better player. And just as a side note, that's how everything in life works. If you don't decide to step outside of your comfort zone and get a little bit uncomfortable with something that you're doing to invite yourself to grow, you're never going to get any better at anything you're doing. So take that concept into Apex Legends as well. Get a little bit uncomfortable with what it is you're practicing and you will get better, I promise. Now, going into the second drill, it's an extension of the video you're seeing a link for in the top right hand corner of your screen right now. Again, I recommend you check this video out before going forward, but for this one, it's not really required, just super beneficial if you watch the video first. You'll remember that we practiced with the Mastiff walking in front of the 6 poster targets separated down the middle by one of the dummies. There are 2 locations on firing range to best accomplish that drill, but for this drill we're going to want to be in one location with your Eava 8. We're going to run up the side of this hill right here, and we are going to run down it just like this, start to slide, and then aim to get 2 shots off on this dummy before the end of your slide. And then you're going to strafe back the way you came and get 2 more shots off on him before you strafe back again, going into the direction you were initially sliding. With the Eava 8, you should be able to knock him down in 4 shots with or without the double tap. I'd practice with the double tap at first if you find it too hard for you to do it without it, but you can do this drill with or without that double tap. Again, you're going to want to eventually wean yourself off of it so you can just get better and better. You can do this drill with the Mozambique also, and it will also take 4 shots, but only 4 shots if you're using the hop-up hammer points. And clearly, you can't miss if you're going to try it out this way. You need to hit every single shot with the Mozambique. So that's going to be kind of like your cherry on top of the ice cream. That all being said, running this drill incorporates 2 drills into one for the Eava 8 and the Mozambique. But what about the Mastiff? Did we forget about him? Is there a drill that'll help you get much better with the Mastiff, just like the one in the last video that I had up in the top right hand corner of the screen? Yeah, and no, we did not forget about the Mastiff. If you recall, without a shotgun bolt, this guy takes forever between shots, which means in a firefight, you are most likely exposed to rapid fire in between shots and will likely end up getting knocked. So, what should you do? Considering that you are a smart player, given that you're looking up better ways to improve your game, I'm going to bet that you already know that running around the streets of Fragment West or up the hillside that's right over next to it, you won't have your shotgun be your primary weapon at that time. And I am going to assume that you are going to be using it in close quarters, like within a building, or when your opponent is just on the other side of a rock that's right in front of you. To get the most from your Mastiff in those situations, you're going to want to be fluid and comfortable with popping out from cover to fire and ducking back behind something really, really quick while your gun resets between shots. And that's going to be with any bolt or no bolt attached. So to practice this, we are going to first go right on over here to the same place we were sliding down to get our 4-shot kills with the Eava 8 or the Mozambique, and we are going to crouch down behind this rock, and we are going to pop up to fire at the dummy, and as the Mastiff resets, we're going to duck back down for cover. Once it is ready to fire again, we immediately pop up for our second shot and then duck back down for cover. Doing this over and over and over again is going to get you into a rhythm, but you want to avoid getting into a rut. There's a big difference between a rhythm and a rut, but there is a fine line between them. Getting into a rhythm means that you are feeling the game. You are able to see what's happening. You're 4 steps ahead of your opponent in there. But a rut is repeating the same things over and over again, expecting a different result, right? So what we're going to do to practice this a little bit differently is we're going to get right on over to where we were practicing the shoot 3, strafe and spray, and then shoot 3 again, just like I had in that video that we just had in the top right hand corner of the screen. You're going to go to the outer edge of one of those 6 targets, looking at the dummy. You're going to stay behind them and then strafe out to in front of them to pop a shot off at the dummy and then pop back behind the targets. Best practice is going to be where you crouch behind the target and then pop up as you strafe out to take your shot at the dummy, and then crouch and duck back behind the targets. You can alternate which targets you sit behind as you do this from the left or the right, but it's 100% up to you. But this drill will help you get better with my favorite shotgun. Yes, the Mastiff is my favorite shotgun. It just deals the most damage. If you know how to pop in and out of cover, you can end up just absolutely destroying your enemies and get the most benefits from it. I just highly recommend using the Mastiff out of all of them if you're able to get your hands on one. As you saw in the beginning of this video, though, is the opener before the intro shot. The Mozambique, I can smack with that. You can smack with that. You just got to practice with it. If you're able to get the hammer points for it, you can do some really great, amazing things with that Mozambique. But still, hands down, the Mastiff is. Thank you so much in advance for subscribing and choosing me to be your source of content to help you get better at Apex Legends. Selecting to be notified every time I launch a video by whacking that bell is really going to help you get even better, because you're going to get updates every time I release another video just like this one. And again, also, thank you for commenting your favorite part about this video, or even leaving constructive criticism down there. I love responding to everybody. I love seeing what everybody has to say. Leaving that like really does help my growing this channel, just like all interactions do with helping grow all channels, especially newer YouTubers like myself. The basics of strafing, check out that video up in the top right hand corner. It's really going to help you out if you haven't seen it already. Subscribe by clicking my logo in the bottom right hand corner, and I will see you in the arena.